Yo, what's going on, guys? Jay here, and today, for the first time in a while, we are reacting to some hot takes submitted by you guys over on my Instagram. I was trying to pull this stuff up on the Instagram website, but I could not do it for whatever reason. Uh, yo, that stuff, yo, that's. I'm just saying the WWCD cover with that is crazy, yo. That shit is funny. Um. Yeah, but sorry about that. Today we were reacting to some hot takes from you guys. If you ever want to participate, check out my Instagram. Got it up on the computer right over here so you guys could see. Um, I'm very active on my stories over there, very participatory. If you ever want to talk to me about some rap, go shoot me a DM over there. But, but, today we're going to react to some of your hot takes. The first take we got is actually from me. I wanted to kick it off, start with something that I've been thinking a lot recently because of the type of reaction I see some fans regarding this rapper, and I do not think that Tyler the Creator has an album above a 9 out of 10. Now, I don't know if that's like a super duper hot take or whatever, but I know a lot of people talk about Tyler, how I imagine they were talking about Kanye 10 years ago with the artistic development on all these great albums he released, and he's like, Tyler's always getting so much love, and it's awesome, and he like deserves it commercially, he deserves it critically, he deserves it from his fans, from his haters, he deserves all of it, but like I don't think he has an album that's top 50 all time. If we're straight shooting right now, I don't think he has an album that's top 50 all time. Like, I think his best album is either Igor or Call Me If You Get Lost, and those are both like high eights. I would say between like 8.7, 8.8 territory. Chromacopia and Flower Boy are like a little bit below that. They're still very high quality, and he's shown with a very strong discography, like an incredibly strong discography, honestly. But he does not have that album, at least for me, that pushes him over the top. Call Me If You Get Lost. Maybe like a year or two ago, I would have had it around that 9 area, or as an album of that I would regard other albums with such high regard with. But the more I revisit it, the less I want to revisit it, if that makes sense. Not that I don't like it, it's just growing off of me. Then next up, we got another hot take from album_ratings. Thank you for submitting and participating. I appreciate you. Rich Amiri is better than all of Opium except Cardi. And I don't have much to weigh in with on this, because I don't listen to Rich Amiri. I don't listen to like Canner. I love Cardi. Like, I think there's a world where I could agree with this. I just don't know enough about it, to be honest. I know Rich Amiri just had that one really big song a while ago that was popular on TikTok, so I might know like 10 seconds of Rich Amiri. Next up, another hot take we got here. 2015 and 2024 were elite years for rap and R&B. 2016 too. Surface level, I agree. Surface level, I definitely agree. I mean, 2024 was a really good year last year. Had a very, very strong year for music. I don't know if any of these years would be top 5 all time for me. I'd really have to go and like dig that out, but off the top of my head, 2022 and 1995 and 1996 and 1998 are all some of the best. I think 2015, 16, 17, 18 are all worth shouts for that as well. So, I don't inherently disagree with this album, but for me to like confidently say that those are some of the best years of all time, I really would have to map that out. I mean, a lot of years have a lot of really good music, so it's a tough conversation when it comes down to it. Also Tyler the Creator's middle name being Gregory is crazy. I never would have guessed that. That's really funny. Shout out to Tyler Gregory the Creator. Vance 1146, not the hottest take, but mortal men greater than sing about me. I'm dying of thirst. I disagree with this, but also let me put you on to a song that is better than both of those, if we're being completely honest. For Your Eyes Only by J. Cole. Man, this has nothing to do with the take that my guy sent in. And again, I appreciate everyone who is participating, checking out the gram, liking, following, subscribing, sending in hot takes, reaching out to me on DMs, all that stuff. I appreciate everyone. I'm trying to build a little community with everyone, and I love being able to chop it up, talk rap, talk life. So just thank you to everyone who's participating. It does a lot for me, so I do appreciate you guys and hope you are doing well. But off topic a little bit, but I only say that because those are all very important, like storytelling tracks that are also very important to the album in which they are a part of. And Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, and For Your Eyes Only in particular are two similar songs from different artists. Obviously they're not exactly the same in any way, shape, or form, but they got a kind of similar idea about them in the way they talk about gun violence and the way gun violence has affected people close to Kendrick and people close to J. Cole in their communities. But yeah, just wanted to put that out there. Don't sleep on J. Cole. I know a lot of people like to sleep on Cole, and For Your Eyes Only in particular. But that song, that album, Cole's best work right there. Shout out to my boy Daniel over at True Love Media. He came in. He had to say, Eminem has 3 classics, and it stops there. Slim Shady LP, the Marshall Mathers LP, and the Eminem Show. And, let's just take a quick look at the Eminem discography, if I can spell right. Because, for me personally, man, I'm about to say something that might get the old heads upset, but I think this is a hot take because I don't even think the Marshall Mathers LP is a classic. At least for me personally. You have to consider, I'm a youngish lad, 22, so to some of you guys I might be unk, to some of you others I might be young as fuck. I was not even alive when the Marshall Mathers LP released. Now, trust me, I definitely feel the impact of it in terms of the commercial success, in terms of how integral Eminem was to the pop culture zeitgeist, in terms of the importance and also popularity of a song like Stan. Of course, you also got The Real Slim Shady, again, a song I heard growing up my whole life. But when it comes down to revisiting this album, and just to be clear, I revisited this album like 2 weeks ago. Listened to the whole thing in full front to back, and man, it's a good album. Very clearly, technically impressive. Cool, very good rapping and lyricism from Eminem. Very high level. But this album doesn't interest me. I don't care for this album. I don't listen to this album outside of Bitch Please 2. And the only reason that song gets any play is because it's pretty much a Dr. Dre song. That's Eminem over the most West Coast beat he's done on an album of his own. That sounds like it could have been on 2001. That is not like, if anything, it is very much an outlier in the soundscape within this album. Songs like Kill You and Criminal and Kim, even, can be hard to listen to at some points. Now, again, important to note that I did not grow up with... I did grow up with this album, but I was not, like... You know what I mean? I heard songs from this, and Eminem in general, heard a lot of songs of his on the radio growing up, but I was not there for this when it came out. Again, I was not born yet. So if you disagree and think this is a classic, I don't follow you, but this album does nothing for me. The Eminem Show, undoubtedly a classic, because it has the same factor as the Marshall Mathers LP in terms of undeniable replay value, in terms of hits, impactful songs, but I also like the songs, and I'll also willingly go back to them. Like, the Marshall Mathers LP is still, like, high 7 to low 8 for me. Like, it's very, very clearly a technically good hip-hop album, but for me personally, man, I don't. Nah, man. It's not for me. Not for me. And then the Slim Shady LP is very cool as well. It's a cool, unique listen. And I would still give it the classic status, but I can't give Eminem like the three classics. Like I would be lying to myself. Even like Slim Shady LP is a little bit of like a, I think that's a classic more so for cultural impact than personal enjoyment. But I cannot give him two classics in my opinion for that when the Slim Shady LP I don't even revisit it that often either. But I would, and I would be willing to do it, and I would like it. Anyways, thank you for that, Dan. I appreciate you. Moving up next to my guy Rap Out of 10. He put in two that I want to talk about. Two hot takes that I got here. Number one, Damn is Kendrick's best album. And like honestly, like it's not crazy. It's not crazy. For me, it's Kendrick's third best album, but like it's so close. You know what I mean? It's so close. It's not like there are a lot of rappers whose third best album is way worse than their first and second best. But you have to consider Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly. We're already talking about like legacy hip hop albums at this point, top 20 of all time at least, both of those projects. And Damn, probably slotting for me personally below 40. I mean, damn, hold up. Let's pull this up quick. Now, this is old. I did do a top 100 albums of all time post. Now, see right here, this is 2022. So we're almost 4 years out date from my current opinion at this point. But just to give you some look and see what I was thinking, again, 4 years ago, Damn almost made the top 20. I mean, Damn is right there. Now, to be fair, even in terms of the albums, I got it in the same range as like on this page you're seeing right now. I'm taking it over Black Star. I'm taking it over Food. Although they're about the same level. And I'm definitely taking it over 444. Damn. 4 years ago, I was really overrating 444. A great album, but still besides the point. Yeah. Oh, there's the Eminem Show, another classic. Anyways, I don't think it's crazy because it has that cultural impact, it has that success, it has the hits, and it's also just as deep as these other albums. Like Kendrick really takes the time to talk about all these different emotions, reactions, feelings that he has in his daily life, how they relate to his life and his story. And he is able to give his own perspective on them in such unique ways. Take a song like Fear, for example. Fear is one of Kendrick's best songs, and he breaks down the things he was afraid of, the things that caused him anxiety and fear in his life at three different ages, at 7, 17, and 27. And he does it in a way that the song is great to listen to, of an incredible production from The Alchemist, but also is so like vivid. His lyricism is so vivid here, and you can tell exactly what's going on. But he also has slower ballads that go hard, not go hard, but that go up and are super popular, like Love, Loyalty. Then you have a super intense song like XXX. Element is one of Kendrick's just most classic bangers, like. And then Duckworth. Like, I don't even fault you. Like, this album is so good that I don't even fault you for thinking that it's better than Good Kid or To Pimp a Butterfly. Now, I don't agree, but I was just looking at my all-time listens on albums earlier tonight. I listened to Damn more than I listened to Pimp a Butterfly in the last 6 years. Not by a whole bunch, but more. Like, I love Damn. And I'll commend this take from Rap Out of 10. But this other one, man, oh man. This other one right here, I do not agree with. I think it's a bad take, to be honest. Drake is top 5 of this generation. Now, I'm the type of person, you got to consider, like, what I value most is discography. It's discography over everything for me. Because I think having a good album encompasses all the things that I do value, which, like, most importantly is replayability, lyricism, and themes or theming throughout an album, consistency as well. So if you have a good discography, it means you are hitting all of those things consistently. You're consistently rapping well with good lyrics, with purpose, in a way that makes me want to listen to it. Now, I don't know exactly where the cutoff for this generation is, but I've been giving this some thought recently, ever since Danny Brown said on Stardust that him, Kendrick, and Earl were the big three. And I love that he said that, honestly. Shout out to Danny Brown for saying that, because even though I don't agree, it really does. It's like a shout out for him and Earl in the underground. Like, though, that might be the big three to a lot of hip hop heads who love their underground rap. Now, again, for me personally, that's not. But it did get me thinking, damn, after Stardust, Danny Brown really is a top 5 rapper from that era, just based off of the strength of his discography. Even if he's not someone I revisit a whole bunch, Stardust was awesome. Quaranta is awesome. Atrocity, Exhibition, XXX. Now, he's probably closer to the 4 or 5 range, but you got to consider Dot's definitely number 1. We got to talk about J. Cole being in that conversation before we talk about Drake. Freddie Gibbs, I think, is the undoubted number 2 if we're going based off discography. His is the only one that even compares with Kendrick's. Who we also got to talk about ASAP Rocky in this range. We got to talk about Mac Miller in this range. Rest in peace. All rappers that came out around this same like early 2010s time that I think surpass Drake. Denzel Curry probably surpassing Drake as well. Honestly, now I don't know if that's a separate generation maybe that we're counting, but him and JID both for your consideration in that area. Honestly, if I'm going to keep it a buck right now in an all-time setting, I would have Future ahead of him too. And that's not to say Drake's ass. Like, Drake in the top 10 of this generation, I think it's close. I'm not going to say it's a guarantee because he does have the cultural relevancy. He does have that it factor, that once-in-a-generation hit-making ability. But also, he has CLB. He has, honestly, never mind. He has For All the Dogs. He has Some Sexy Songs for You. He has all the things that keep Eminem being out of my top 10 of all time. Those things that keep Eminem out keep Drake being out of my top 10 of his generation. Top 5 at least. Top 10 it might be close, but if I was going to do top 5 just off the top of my head, 1 is Kendrick. 2 is Freddie Gibbs, as I said. 3 has got to be... honestly, probably Mac Miller. His discography is so complete, and I'm tempted to say A$AP Rocky, but I think his shorter discography holds him back and would make me put him at 4, and then it's between J. Cole and Danny Brown for 5, and that is just like a comparison I never even considered. Oh, Tyler, the Creator as well. I know I was saying Tyler, the Creator probably slots in at that 5 or 6. It's either him, Cole, or Danny, and that's all ahead of Drake. Again, I don't hate Drake. Well, I don't hate his music. As a person, it's questionable. But his music, I don't hate. There's still a lot of Drake songs I listen to. He's just not... he's not that guy. Truthfully. Now we got 3 more I want to go through today. One from Loptius. Shout out to homie Loptius11. Denzel Curry is the MVP of this decade, along with Nas and Freddie Gibbs. And I'm going to say, if there was 3 rappers that I had to denote the MVPs of the 2020s, Denzel Curry and Nas are no doubt 1 and 2 on that prong. Now, Freddie Gibbs, I wasn't that high on Alfredo 2 as everyone else. I think Soul Sold Separately is better. I think You Only Die Once is better. But I also think that those albums are also amazing. He has Alfredo. That's 1 legendary album and 3 pretty fucking amazing ones right there. And I guess the question is of him being MVP of the decade is, do I value the Forever Story and God Does Like Ugly over those 4 Freddie Gibbs albums? Because the Forever Story is the best album of that group, and God Does Look Ugly is the third best, and then there's a gap between that and Freddie Gibbs' other albums. So I don't know. But I'll say I agree because if him and JID are on par, then I technically agree. So I think that's a great statement. Denzel definitely deserves it. Nas definitely deserves it as well when you look at their output these last 5 years. They know Devin. He tapped in and said, speaking of Jid, God Does Like Ugly is better than Let God Sort Him Out. Personally, I disagree. I am disagreeing here. Now I don't think this is a bad take, crap take. Don't think there's anything wrong with this. These are the easy 1 and 2 for album of the year, but I don't think it's a 1A, 1B situation. For me, Let God Sort Him Out clears by a good margin, as good as God Does Like Ugly is. But there's nothing wrong with liking God Does Like Ugly better. Nothing at all. And last one, I'm going to touch on briefly, from Sentient Human. Big Pun is the best MC at rhyming words together. And to be honest, I'm going to DNQ on this one. I'm just going to say, hey, I love Big Pun. I do think he does have a particular skill in terms of making rhymes fit. He definitely does. But to be honest, I'm only really familiar with Capital Punishment, not that he had a bunch of work other than that due to his untimely demise, rest in peace. But I'm not even familiar enough with Capital Punishment as much as that is an amazing album to sit here and be like, oh, I think he's better than this. Because one person that comes to mind immediately in terms of someone who his primary skill is making rhymes happen is Andre 3000. I don't think Big Pun's better than him, but he's definitely worth a shout in that regard. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate you tuning in. If you want to do this again in the future, let me know in the comments. I will be posting up stories, so make sure you go follow at the Instagram. Again, that Instagram is going to be talking.hiphop. Thank you guys all for tuning in today. I hope you have a wonderful, spectacular day. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace.